Are air conditioners more efficient at night due to lower temperatures difference between inside and outside air? Let's say outside air is 63 degrees overnight. Would you be better off bringing the temp down lower during the night and then setting it higher during the day if it gets up to the 90s, as opposed to just setting it to 70 or something all day? Yes, the heat exchanger will be able to dump more heat into the outside air more easily when it is cool outside versus when it is hot. More efficient gets tricky because it depends on what you mean. If it's 80 in the house, 60 outside, and you want the house to be at a temp of 70, then it is true that your AC is going to have to work less hard than if it was 90 outside, and thus be more efficient. That said, it's less energy intensive to just open all the windows and bring that 60-degree air into the 80-degree house without involving the AC at all. If the dew point is above 65 degrees, and the next day will be hot, with 65-degree plus dew point, I'll leave the house botonied up, and the AC on, as it will keep the humidity low. I don't want nighttime air coming in if the dew point is above 65. Once the air conditioning has run all day, the air in your house will be dehumidified. Once things start heating up the next day, the air conditioning will kick in again and keep the humidity low. Once it has been on for a while, the temperature is secondary to the low humidity you have created. You can raise the temperature to 76, 77, and it will feel good, as the humidity is low. It helps if your system is sized correctly. If it is too large for your space, it won't come on frequently enough to adequately dehumidify your space. The machine itself will run more efficiently at that time, yes, as it has less work to do. However, that doesn't necessarily make your suggested protocol more efficient. It would depend on your insulation and other factors. This is because the natural transfer of heat depends on the temperature difference, so you can get diminishing returns. I.e., the colder your house was, the more heat will come in, the more coldness is at stake for you to lose, due to the higher difference, like if you have single-glazed windows, thin walls, and a lack of insulation, and you're in and out of the front door a lot, then any cold air you try to store overnight might quickly heat up during the day. So you'd have spent that extra electricity setting the AC super low for nothing. But if you have double-glazed windows, thick walls, with lots of insulation, and you'll keep the curtains drawn and never open the door, then maybe you'll be able to hold onto that coldness, i.e. keep the heat out. So the electricity spent on a low AC might have been worth it. It also will depend on your electricity prices. You might have on and off peak times, or maybe you have rooftop solar panels. These would change the equation for you. It has to do with the temperature differential between the outside air and the temperature of the hot refrigerant. The bigger the temp difference, the more BTUs are rejected out of your house. With the refrigerant temp at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, more BTUs can be rejected when it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit outside than when it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside. In addition, the AC doesn't have to work as hard because the load on the house is lower due to less heat transferring inside through the walls. That's probably the answer you were looking for to begin with. It's not about the inside air vs outside air. It's about the high and low pressure sides of the refrigerant loop, and the difference between the refrigerant and air on either side. The temperature and pressure of a gas are connected. Absent any other variables, if you lower the pressure of a gas, it becomes cold. That's why your propane tank can accumulate dew or frost when in use. If you pressurize a gas, it becomes hot. Inside your AC, a pump pressurizes the refrigerant to one side of a closed loop. The high pressure side becomes very hot and radiates heat to the environment. As that dumps heat, it's recirculated back to the low pressure side, and the temperature of the refrigerant becomes very cold, absorbing heat from the air around it. It's pumped back to the high pressure side and the temperature soars. How efficient that loop exchanges heat with the air on either side depends on what temp the refrigerant is calibrated at. The window AC might be calibrated to have the refrigerant at 40 degrees and 125 degrees on the inside, outside respectively. You don't want to overchill the room air, And on the outside, anything too hot becomes a fire risk. The AC built into your freezer wants to chill the inside room to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And the outside, loop in your kitchen, might be 80 or 90 degrees.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next exciting video.